Okay. Can you see me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Also,
all perfect.
that's cool, man. I need to say, like, you are amazing, skilled, really cool, technically well,
Thank you very much.
great singer. Really, I remember back in the days when I heard like Richie Blackmore is like uniting the rainbow, and it was like, okay, who's gonna sing?
Mhm.
And right there, I was noticing about you, and I was like, okay, who is this guy? And when I've checked the stuff, it was like mind blowing. Like, oh my, yeah, all this Dio era, it was
Yeah.
amazing. So that's really good, and I think this conversation is going to be really helpful for all the singers who are searching for techniques and
Yeah.
styles and placement, all the stuff. All right, let's start right from the beginning. Your childhood, when you are starting to sing, your biggest influences as a
Yeah.
singer. Tell me about this stuff, please.
Yeah, there's a long story. I need to go way back,
Okay.
way back the years when I was a child.
Mm,
I had the luck of being born and raised in a family of musicians. So
mhm.
that for me was uh, easier than other kids to
The
get
same
access.
with me. I
Yeah,
know what
yeah,
it's
to
like.
get access to music. And
Yeah.
especially in my country in Chile.
Mm,
Um, in the 80s, where we were getting through this dictatorship, and it was really hard to get music from the States and Europe. So
mhm,
yeah, I grew up in a family of musicians. My father, he used to be a singer. He was a crooner, actually, in a band, in a big band,
mhm.
where my grandfather was a saxophonist. Then my mother, she was a singer, and she used to play the guitar. Also, my older brother is a drummer.
Mhm.
So as you see, I was surrounded by musicians, by instruments through all my childhood, which is it was very cool, because I remember when I was a small kid, I was 7 years old, and I used to have a drum kit in my room.
Great,
So
amazing.
yeah, it was great. So yeah, we were a Protestant family also, so we were going to church every Sunday, and I remember to start to sing in a choir in the church, and that was
It's
the
like a gospel and worship
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. But I wouldn't say gospel. I think gospel is way more elaborated than the music you used to sing in a Protestant church in South America. But yeah, pretty similar. And because of my high pitch voice when I was a kid, the people was paying attention to my vocals, and they say, "Oh, this kid he can sing." And
Cool.
but then I remember I used to have a schoolmate, and his father, he was a huge fan of rock music,
Mhm.
and through him I started to listen rock bands. um, and I'm telling about not the classic ones. At the beginning I was listening, even with my father, he was a huge fan of American rock bands like Kansas, Boston, Journey. uh,
It's like AOR, kind of more
yeah, I would
radio,
say, yeah, it's
nostalgia,
for classic American classic rock.
like
But yeah,
Styx, maybe.
yeah, but the thing is, against what the people can think, that my biggest influences are singers like Ronnie James Dio.
Hmm.
It was totally the opposite, because I grew up listening Steve Perry, for example.
Gotcha.
Which is something more totally different, more melodic, and more and
Yeah,
clean.
and
So
soft. Yeah.
yeah, so yeah, I started to listen rock music since a very early age. And but I remember the first time that I really have the thoughts of becoming a rock singer. It was when I listened. There was a this friend of mine came with a tape, and it said, "You need to listen to this." And it was the Starkers in Tokyo, the acoustic Whitesnake album, uh, with
Like, yeah, with Adrian Vandenberg and like
Adrian
Cardale.
Vandenberg and
Oh,
David Coverdale. Yeah.
amazing
That was
album.
the moment.
Yeah.
That was the moment when I realized, okay, I want to be like this guy.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I really want to sing like this guy. There was the main and the probably the first rock star that I was following. David Coverdale.
Mm-hmm.
And from there, obviously, I started to listen to Purple, and then Ian Gillan, and then Rainbow, and all this stuff. But it was the first.
It's weird. It's weird because Cardell is more kind of, darker,
Yeah,
deeper, bluesy rather than kind of slightly more raised larynx, all those
yeah,
guys
yeah.
with.
Actually, for me, the best. Two things happens. Because I started to listen these acoustic versions of the songs first with this
Mhm.
album. It was really hard for me to get used to the electric versions. Uh, Yeah.
Understand.
So when I started
Like
to listen the original versions with the whole band, it was pretty. I didn't like it. It was like I really prefer the acoustic version. There's more soul on it, and
gotcha.
the performance is completely different. So and then the second thing it was I started to listen more to Whitesnake, and for me, the first two albums are the best, more than all
Not
the commercial thing.
gotcha. It's more
Uh,
not the glam metal years, but more bluesy,
More bluesy, totally
like
more
Saint and
bluesy.
Sinners, Love Hunter, Red and the Villain, like with Ian
Come and
Page.
get it,
Haven't, yeah.
Yeah, that for me that was mind blowing, and that was the moment when I started to, to trying to become a rock singer.
So you were more from kind of bluesy and soul, kind of from those.
Yeah,
All right.
actually, because we were. I remember with this schoolmate, we were like the weirdos on the school because on the '90s, everybody was listening. I mean, the heavy side, they were listening Iron Maiden, Metallica.
Mm-hmm.
And the more commercials, they were listening Pearl Jam and all this kind of stuff.
Soundgarden, grunge band,
Exactly.
Stone Temple Pilots.
But with this guy, we were listening Pink Floyd, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, and
Gotcha.
especially there was a period of my life where I was really into the blues guitar players like Stevie Ray Vaughan and Frank Marino, Gary Moore,
Eric
and
Clapton, maybe a bit.
a little bit. I remember in the '90s it was the first album of Kenny Wayne Shepherd, also,
Yeah. Yeah.
and he used to have this singer who was a very bluesy,
Mm-hmm.
and that was my stuff. That was my stuff, and then I think because of it was easier for me to sing because of my range, singing songs like Dio.
What
That's why.
age? What
Sorry.
age? In what age you've been there?
Probably 14 years old, more or
Mm-hmm.
less. 14,
Gotcha.
15. That was the first. Yeah, I was like a 14 years old when we formed my first band, and we were, singing all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and the other funny thing it was at the beginning. Obviously, I didn't have this raspy way of singing, and
Gotcha.
I was singing with a clean voice. And I remember one day, a friend of mine came and he said, I want to record a song, a cover, and that was the first, very very first experience for me going to a studio and record a song. And this guy came with this Gates of Babylon from Rainbow,
Wow.
which is actually, it was funny because the original song at the beginning, the first two verses, Dio is singing pretty clean,
Yeah. Yeah.
look away from the sea, like that.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy came and said, we're gonna do this song, but we're gonna do the Ingrid Malmsteen version from the Inspiration album,
Gotcha. Uh-huh.
which is, yeah, which has, I think it's Mike Becerra on this.
I uh yeah, not the Mark Bowles era, and not
No,
yeah,
it's
it's Mike
Mike
Vistera.
Becerra, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Mm-hmm.
And he came with this like a raspy voice, and this guy asked me, can you do that? And he was like, I don't know, I can try. And, you know and I
Wow.
tried, and I did it, and I did it, and this guy came to me after and he said, I think there is not too many singers in Chile, because at that time, my country was my universe. I didn't think that at that
Uh-huh.
time I would have like a professional career and sing all over the world. So this guy say, in this country there is nobody can sing like this. So maybe you can keep doing it, and you're gonna be different.
Wow. Bro, it's so weird, sorry for interruption, because I'm like coaching 24/7, like I have students from all over the world, and specifically, except all the classical approaching, the grid, the false distortion, that's the whole, story. And it's like, it's not like that. We are going
Yeah.
step by step by step, closing the false about not to squeeze,
Yeah.
not to contract. And when you're saying like, okay, I'm like la 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 la, like you were doing like bam, you've got the grid. For
Yeah,
me,
I
it's
mean,
like
yeah,
amazing.
I mean, considering that I never had and I never took any vocal lessons ever. Um,
You are amazing, really.
um, I mean, what I normally say when people ask me is that when they say that you are a very talented singer because you never took lessons and you know how to do it, blah blah whatever, and I say like I think my real talent is to impersonate, you know,
Gotcha.
because if you ask me technically, obviously through the years you learn how to do it and you learn how to do it in the way you don't hurt yourself, because
Yeah.
at the beginning you don't know and you're just replicating a sound. But obviously you learn through the years, and now if you ask me, I can barely explain how I do it. But uh, at the beginning I didn't know. I was just copying something, and it
What
was
did you think about? Like when you heard, can you sing with this rasp? The very first idea was what was that? Like,
yeah, yeah. That is one of the most common mistakes when the people they ask me, how can I do this?
mm-hmm,
And the first thought is always the throat. It's
gotcha.
always the throat, but there is a lot of more implications on that final sound.
Yeah,
Obviously, the throat is part of it, but yeah, it's obviously, and that's why a lot of people they get really hurt when they try to do it.
yeah, yeah.
And that's one of the things that I really appreciate of my vocal talent. I would say, I don't know if I could say talent, but anyway, uh, because I don't hurt myself. I always tell to the people. I remember when I joined Rainbow, and all the this um, the people came, and I got in the spotlight because I was playing with Richie Blackmore, and there was a lot of people asking me
Mm-hmm.
to take vocal lessons with me.
Gotcha.
And I say, I have a huge respect for vocal teachers, and since I never took vocal lessons, so I don't know really the technique of how to do things. And secondly, because I think one thing is to know how to sing, and another thing is to know how to teach.
100% true.
Yeah, you may know
Yes,
it's a different thing, and you need to have both to teach somebody.
exactly.
So I never did vocal lessons to anybody, because for me that would be to be cheating on people.
Gotcha.
Um, um, but I can give some advices normally to people when they ask me, and the most important advice that I always give is to try to find how to sing without hurting yourself. That's the most important thing. And
Yeah,
you need to think that not everybody can sing everything.
yeah,
You need to know your limits. First of all, you need to know your limits. Some songs and some ways of singing are not meant for everybody. It's like when the people ask me, why you don't sing this, or for example, I would say Sinatra.
mm-hmm.
I would say because I don't have the voice to sing Sinatra songs. you know
Gotcha.
and that doesn't make me a worse singer. It's
At
just
all,
not
at
the
all.
it's not just the thing that I meant to sing. And that's the most common mistake for a lot of people. I remember there was a lot of people coming like, I want to sing like Dio, I want to sing like Glenn Hughes, I want to sing and your voice is not for that. You need to find songs that fits and you feel comfortable singing and you don't hurt yourself. and
Exactly.
and,
You
and
can take something from all those singers because that's
yeah.
really cool. But like we have Glenn Hughes, we have Jolene Turner, we have Ron James Dio, Coverdale, we have you, and like the next completely the same you, like we don't need them. We need
Yeah.
someone
Yeah,
like
of course.
be completely like. themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Because for me is to be a singer, obviously you need the technique and you need to have a talent, and you need to perform in a way which is the people will like. But also you are a storyteller,
Yeah.
so there is different ways to connect with people,
Hmm.
uh, to when you're singing a song. What I do normally is, but not too much, because I have like a very small ego. So I don't like to advise people too much, because I don't find myself like a source of wisdom, because
Gotcha.
for me it's like I'm still learning. I'm pretty sure, and I know I'm completely sure that there is tons of millions of singers, they can sing better than me. You know, with this, I'm not saying that I'm a bad singer. I consider myself a good singer, and I was lucky enough to have the chance to work with a lot of great guitar players and in great bands and do great music, in my opinion. But I don't consider myself capable to advise others of how to do it. So what I do normally is to just give small advices that I find very helpful because of my experience, my own experience.
Yeah, yeah. And it's really important, because like people can sing with kind of proper technique, but when they're performing at home or in the karaoke or something like that, it has nothing to do with touring when you have like day after day after day after day, like 2 month or 3 month,
Yeah.
and the voice is different. Like you are waking up, and sometimes it's not because of the bad technique, because of the like air conditioning, tour bus, like
Mhm.
hotel rooms, like
There's
food.
a there is a way, way, way a lot of different elements that makes your voice sounds in different days.
Exactly.
Also, when you go to the studio, what I do normally, I'm doing now small vocal productions. Even when I don't consider myself a producer,
Mhm.
but I help people to uh, to face a vocal recording in the way that I consider it works for me. So maybe it works for them also. Sometimes it's not, because everybody's different. But
But you have the experience. That's
yeah,
important.
but you go when you to prepare yourself to go to the studio, because most of the people think that you're in the studio and you're having fun and everything is cool, but it's not. I mean, when you
Yeah.
spend 5 hours in a small room listening the same song for hours and hours, you get really stressed, and
Yeah.
you lose your voice because you are stressed, and you really want to do that note in that specific moment of the song and doesn't work, and you're trying for hours and hours and doesn't
Mhm.
work, so you need to stop and go back home,
Exactly. Yeah.
sleep, go back the day after. So that's
Yeah.
something that the
But the
people, they
bad
don't know.
thing, yeah, the bad thing is when you are trying so hard and
Yeah.
you are trying over and over and over again, it's like 3 hours and you're not fresh. It's like, you're listening
Oh,
to
yeah.
the same, and you are kinda getting, and like,
Yeah.
okay, this take was perfect. You
Yeah.
think like this. The
Yeah.
next day you are listening to the track and it sounds like a robot. It's
Yeah.
perfect, but there is no soul because you're just like just
Yeah,
creating
I,
a
I,
sound.
I heard I heard you. Probably you heard the story of when Bruce Dickinson was recording the Number of the Beast,
Yeah.
and he was trying to get the scream at the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
and before the riff comes in,
Mm-hmm.
and he was trying for hours and hours and hours. Didn't work. And the producer, he was like, try again, try again, try again, try again. And he got really mad and he started to smash everything on the studio. He didn't understand why. He considered he was screaming correctly, but the producer was saying no, it still doesn't work for the song. And at the end, after 6 hours, it did scream like, okay, I will do one more, but it's not going to work. And it did scream, and the producer said, this is the one we need.
Yeah.
And until now, Bruce Dickinson say that he still doesn't understand why, but the producer was correct.
Yeah.
So, Yeah, it's because you get as you say you get blocked many times. You get blocked. What it and depends how you record. There is some different ways to do it. Some people they prefer to do the verses and then go to the second verse because the dynamic is similar, and
Yep.
then they go to the bridges, and then they go to get one good chorus they can replicate, or he
Yep.
prefer to sing all over the song, a couple of takes. I did both. I can say
Mm-hmm.
that I did both. Normally, what I do is to go part by part.
Mm-hmm.
I try to get a really good chorus that we can copy, and then I'm over those choruses. I go and changing some things
Mm-hmm.
to make it different of
To
each
make
other.
it not like a robot, but
Yeah,
more here and
exactly.
there. Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
But then I did also. I remember when I did this Vandenberg album with the producer in LA with Bob Marlette. He said,
Oh, that he's a great guy. I remember he was
"Yeah,
producing
yeah,
Alice Cooper stuff and more
yeah,
like
yeah."
industrial. Yeah, yeah.
And this guy told me, "Okay, just sing the song." And I was like, I mean, through all the song, I mean, yeah, you were, singing live. And I
Wow.
did that, and then I did that 3 times, and he was like, "Okay, this take is cool. We're gonna keep this one." So it depends, it depends. It depends how you
Mm-hmm.
want to work, but for me, both ways works really well, and that's something like I normally tell to people, and then obviously you need to get prepared to go to the studio. You need to learn the songs. I knew a lot of people. They were going to the studio, listening the songs for the first time and recording over, which is for me is not that good.
Sometimes it works, but I know for sure about the lyrics. If you are, kind of trying to read the lyrics,
Mhm.
again, you are not into the song. You are like, okay, like,
Yeah, because as I said before, singers, we are storytellers. We
yep.
need to tell a story, and the only way that you can convince people about the story you're telling is to know the story. Like at least your story. This is something that I find very funny. Normally, when with my wife, we watch those talent shows. Like
Mm-hmm.
The Voice and all this stuff. We like to see that normally. Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sometimes you find really cool people there, like a really good singers and all this stuff. But there is something that I always find that people they don't believe what they're singing in the way that, for example, I will put you this example because I saw it recently. You know this song "Living on a Prayer" from Bon
Bon
Jovi.
Jovi. Yeah, sure.
If you take the music out and you read the lyric like a poem or like a book
Mm-hmm.
to somebody who never listened to the song before, you know
Mm-hmm.
uh, it's a very sad story. You
Yeah.
know, Tommy used to work in the docks. He was a hard worker. His wife Gina, she was working on the restaurant. Gina just to work all day and dinner. She
Mm-hmm.
was working all day. Tommy, he's having really hard times. Is getting depressed because he doesn't have money, and that's the meaning of living on a prayer. They're
Yeah,
living the day by day, and Gina is supporting the guy, saying, "Don't worry, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna be happy."
yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's a really sad story, actually.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you find all those singers on the television singing the song with a smile on their faces, like, Tommy used to work on the docks, like this. Like, you know, it's not like that. It's a very deep and sad story. So you need to understand what you're singing. That's the only way that you can connect with people. I
Yeah.
mean, besides the technique, obviously, you need to be a good singer, but how you take the story and you tell it to the people. This is the way you connect, and that I find it.
Sadly, like a lot of those singers, they are really technically skilled, but I think they are more like an instrument rather than a storyteller. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I
they
mean,
have technique, and you can put whatever you want. Like
yeah, I mean,
you,
it's
you can sing
it's the
this,
same.
that.
It's the same like with guitars. You can have a guitar and you can play the notes correctly, but
Yeah,
you cannot play like Jimi Hendrix or BB King. That's a
yeah,
different story.
It completely,
Yeah,
completely.
so with singers it's the same. And for me, the secret is obviously because you need to have a good technique. You need to be a good singer. Uh, but technique is one thing, and it's great if you have it. But without the performance, the passion, and how you tell the story, there's nothing that you can do.
Yeah,
You cannot compete. You cannot compete with that. When you have somebody like Steve Perry, one of my favorite singers, technically gifted,
yeah,
uh,
amazing singer.
because he would sing anything, and but how he was, he was singing the songs. You get caught like, okay, I
There's
really
the
want to
soul.
listen to this.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of the times I'm thinking about that because, like, for me, it's all about, like, okay, these are the folds, that's the thyroid muscle. I'm like super
Mhm.
nerd, like voice science, all
Yeah.
those things. And like when I'm thinking about, we have really like skilled, technically well shaped singers from the one hand, and from the other hand we have, for example, like Bob Dylan, for example, or Johnny Cash. They're just like talking
You have
almost on the.
many examples. You have many examples. You have the same Ozzy Osbourne. He was technically not a great singer in
Yeah,
terms of technique.
yeah,
But you get caught of his singing in some way that I don't know, and I because I can tell he's not one of my favorite singers, but I love Ozzy Osbourne songs. I love them all.
yeah.
There is a way, and also I will say, it's very hard to sing Ozzy songs. It's really hard to get
I
on the
know,
point.
because he
But,
he's belting up high, like he's not pulling headways down, not
yeah,
like it's like straight open
I
valves.
did.
Yeah.
I did a covers album a couple of years ago, and I did two, and the second one I put some more heavy songs, and I did an Aussie song.
Which
Um,
one?
it was No More Tears.
Cool.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I was doing the takes, and I thought, okay, this is gonna be easy. This is gonna be one of the easiest ones, because then I had Deep Purple, and I had some Ingrid Malmsteen from the Mark Bowles era,
Wow.
which is very
Yes,
complicated.
I know, man. I
Yeah,
know.
I got Iron Maiden songs, and so a Dio song, and I did that, and it was like, okay, this is gonna be easy. And I did several takes, and I was like, I no, I don't get it. It's like it's really hard to make it sound good, because it's so particular. The way he sings,
Yeah.
that you need to make something different than the
Exactly.
normally what you do.
Because you know what? Like, okay, you said Deep Purple. Which songs? Ian Gillan era or
Yeah,
Coverdale?
yeah, but it was the one of the last album they did with Richard Blackmore, the Battle Rages On. It was after the Perfect Strangers.
After the House of the Blue Light.
No, no, no. Is the album is called The Battle Rages On. Is after
Ah, 93. Yeah, I know.
Q3.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
with a dragon. Cool
yeah.
album, basically. Yeah,
That
love it.
was actually the album they did after Julian Turner with the Purple, the Slaves
Yeah,
and
Slaves
Masters.
and Monsters.
Yeah,
And also great album, by the way.
yeah. So
Love
one of my favorite songs is The Battle Rages On. It's a very heavy song. So we did that one. Yeah, yeah, we did that, and it's great. It's a great song. Also, we did "Light in the Black" from Rainbow. We did a Metallica song. We did "You Will Remember," "I Never Forget" from Ingrid Malmsteen.
Mountain. Hmm.
Ah, that was hard.
I know, I know.
Yeah, that was
But
hard.
you know what? Like, you said about all those songs and all those singers are. It's not kind of the same, like compared to your style, but they have this covered back valve position, no kind
Yeah.
of.
Hmm.
But with Ozzy Osbourne, it's open front
Yeah, yeah,
valves,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
so
yeah.
it's
Oh, yeah.
kind of weird.
Ozzy was a very honest singer.
Yeah,
That's what I call them, when that kind of singers, that they're very honest, because they give what they have.
hmm
And but he said that from the beginning when he was with Black Sabbath. He said that I'm not a great singer. I'm just Ozzy Osbourne. But there you have.
And about Black Sabbath, there was some period. You know Ray Gillen?
Yeah, of course.
Man,
Actually, I did a song in that album, which it was finally sung by Tony Martin, but the first version is
yeah,
from Reagan.
Eternal
Shi-
Idol
The
demo.
Shining. Yeah, from that album. Yeah, I did The
Y-
Shining. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
cool, cool.
Actually, that was so cool because when I did that version, because in that covers albums, I wanted to do less typical songs.
Mhm.
When you do a covers album, the people is always expecting like, okay, this guy is gonna sing Rainbow, is gonna sing Dio, whatever. So I wanted to do something that the people they wouldn't expect me to sing. And one of the song it was The Shining from the Eternal Idol, and it was so cool that when we released the video clip, uh, um, Tony Iommi, he replied to that. It was like a great version. Congratulations. I was like, okay,
Great.
I'm done. I can die now.
Yeah, that's man. Cool, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should check this.
yeah,
Tell me about this project called Elegant Weapons, I
yeah,
think, with Scott Travis from Judas Priest and Richie
yeah,
Faulkner.
yeah.
So, what is all about?
Well, it was right after the pandemic, after the lockdown. I was
Mm-hmm.
Richie, which is a good friend of mine. He came to me. I mean, I remember the first I met. It was Scott Travis.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I met him in a Rainbow tour because in that tour we were supported by Thin Lizzy, and Scott Travis was doing the drums on that period.
Mm-hmm.
And so we met, and we were talking about Rainbow and all the stuff, and then he introduced me to Richie
Mm-hmm.
in a Judas Priest concert, and so one day I got the call from Richie, and he said, "Listen, I'm doing these songs, and I'm looking for a singer." It was Scott Travis on the drums, and it was Rex Brown on the bass.
From
From
Pantera.
Yeah,
Cool.
and so as I always say to everybody who wants to have my vocals, I say, okay, send me the songs because this is very important to me, and
Mm-hmm.
it's related where which which I'm telling about to perform, and tell the stories. I need
Mm-hmm.
to like the music that I'm singing it. That's
Gotcha.
that's and you need to like it. It's impossible to sing something that you don't like. You don't get connected with
Mm-hmm.
this. So for me, it's very important to like it. And so I always tell to the people, okay, send me the songs. I'm gonna listen over, and then and if I feel that I really want to sing it over, I will tell you, and then we talk from there. So this guy sent me the songs, and I found it very challenging in a way, and exciting in the other hand, because there were some songs in some styles that I never sang before, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's for a singer, it's very exciting, like to try yourself, like, can I do this? Or, I really wanted to do this since,
Yeah.
many years. So yeah, because the music is a mix of, there is heavy metal, of course, because the guys that are coming from Judas Priest, so
Yeah.
obviously, but but there is a kind of American rock elements like Soundgarden or Audioslave,
Mm-hmm.
Stone Temple Pilots sometimes. Actually, the ballad of the album is, there is a lot of gospel on it.
Cool.
So yeah, I got excited. I was like, okay, I really want to sing over this, and so I did the record, and it was great because I did it by myself. It was after the lockdown, so I was not able to fly. I live in Bucharest in Romania,
Mm-hmm.
so I went to the studio. I worked with the producer, on video calls, on the
Mm-hmm.
Snap, and we did the album in a week. Like in a week, I did all the songs.
Wow, super fast.
Yeah, super fast, and then we released the album. That people love it. We did a small tour last summer.
Mm-hmm.
We're supporting Pantera and doing some solo shows also. We did like I don't know, maybe like a 14, 15 shows in the summer. and people seems to like it. And
Cool.
so yeah, so there is plans for a new record. There is plans for a new tour.
Yeah,
They're
amazing.
after Richie get free from Judas Priest now because they're just touring now.
Like support a new album. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, tell me about Michael Schenker record.
yeah, yeah, Michael. Yeah, that was a great experience. Michael is a totally different character than Richie Blackmore, for example. Richie Blackmore is more, I would say, more wild. It's more unrehearsed
Hmm.
because he really believed on jams, and improvisations.
Yeah.
Like, when you play with Richie, everything is improvised, and you can have a set list, but then during the show he jump over the songs because he preferred to sing to play this one, uh, and then this other one. So there is a lot of improvisation, and even on the structure of the songs when you're singing the songs, and sometimes it's like, okay, now we're gonna do a guitar solo or keyboard solo, and then you're gonna sing with the audience. And so every show and every song is different,
Gotcha.
which is great. It's great. And then I would tell you a story that is really helpful for singers also about Rainbow. But uh, first I'm going to tell you about Michael, because Michael is totally the opposite. And Michael is rehearsing all the time. It's everything is a rehearsal, and
Hmm.
we used to rehearse every day, same time, every day the same hours, and every detail on the show is rehearsed,
Uh-huh.
which
Hmm.
is great anyways. Um, but yeah, it was great to sing with him. He's such a he's a legend. He was we were doing
100%.
we were doing this tour celebrating 50 years of career, which is amazing.
Whoa.
I mean, I'm 42, and he was celebrating 50 years of career. What?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
crazy, but it's great. He's a very talented musician. And then he have everything on his head. Everything must be done on the shows. It's like, okay, no, you need to go there. You need to sing here. I will go there for the solo. How the band members move on stage. Everything is rehearsed, which is in some ways is great. But I would say that I prefer uh, the how Richie works. Yeah, where you
Hmm.
have more freedom.
More
I remember,
spontaneously.
remember, yeah, when I joined Rainbow,
Hmm.
we were called to fly to New York for the first rehearsals, and
Hmm.
as a Rainbow fan, I was like totally excited. Like, I was listening Deep Purple since I was a kid. You know,
Cool. The
I was
same.
with 15 years old. I was running after school to my room, locking my room, putting the Purple in Rock or the Machine Head, and I was
Oh,
in front of a mirror pretending to be Ian Gillan and all this stuff. And then suddenly I'm gonna play with Richie, so I was very excited. And
sorry for interruption. About Rainbow, because it's slightly more complicated because with Run James Dio, like Rising, the first one, and the Long Live Rock and Roll, it's completely different style from with Graham Bonnet,
yeah,
Down to Earth, and it's completely different from down like Straight Between the Eyes, Difficult to Cure, and
yeah,
Bent Out of Shape.
yeah,
Like they're more like pop rock, mainstream commercial.
yeah.
And what do you prefer more?
Well, I would say that as a big Rainbow fan, I love all the records. For me,
Okay.
every records have something special, and it will be very hard for me to to say which one is my favorite.
Understand.
I have deep admiration, obviously, for Ronnie James Dio, especially the first two albums. Long Live Rock and Roll, it was good, but it was not the best one of the three of them.
Hmm. Hmm.
For me, the first one is the best, and then Rising. Um, uh, but then I love Down to Earth. I mean, he has such great songs. Graham he was a great singer. Uh,
Also with Michael Schenker, he did really
yeah,
good job.
yeah.
Yeah.
This very aggressive. He was a very honest singer also. as we say before. He was very honest because he was just screaming all over the songs.
Mm-hmm.
There was no limits. Like he was not thinking, okay, I'm gonna sing, but until here because I'm gonna. No, he was singing over and screaming and over and over and over. He was like, and he was amazing.
Yeah.
That's why it's very hard to sing those songs also.
And with Yngwie Malmsteen stuff also.
Yeah,
Really
yeah,
cool.
Alcatraz and all the stuff. Yeah. But then, I mean, Jolene Turner. What I would say, it's the same thing. Yeah, you listen, "Been Out of Shape" and all this stuff, and it's like it's crazy. It's crazy. Absolutely, absolutely amazing. So,
Yeah.
I would like the three of them.
Cool. And continue the story.
Oh
Like
yeah.
you
So
were
yeah, we were
like
doing
you
this.
were.
We were going to these rehearsals, and I was very excited, because I'm gonna sing and I'm rainbow songs. It was Richie Blackmore there, so I was thinking about Kill the King and Stargazer and all this stuff. So when we arrived, um, there was a room, and Richie was with acoustic guitar, and the drummer is used to have just a cajon. You know what it is, like a
Yeah,
small
yeah.
box, the wood box.
Who was a drummer at the time?
Is the drummer of Blackmore's Night, the other band.
Ah, gotcha.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it was no PA for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like I got really disappointed. Like, what is this? I don't know what it is. And we've been rehearsing the songs for 2 weeks only acoustically. And so no, he was playing the songs, I was singing, without any PA or anything, which is like,
But you were a big fan of Strikers in Tokyo,
yeah, 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 yeah,
Cavadel. So
yeah. But
for you,
yeah,
it
but at
was
that
like
moment, I didn't get why we did that. So I was a little bit disappointed. But also, yeah. Anyways, we did it, and then after we shift to the electric rehearsals after like 2 weeks,
mhm.
and then we did the first tour, and then I realized why it did that uh, when we were doing the shows, because during 2 weeks we were just listening to each other because there was no PA, there was no electric instruments.
Uh-huh.
We were following to each other in the structures of the song, or where I know that he's gonna play a solo, or where is gonna be a break that I need to go in front and sing with the audience, and all the kind of stuff that slightly did, but without realizing on it. So we were just like a jamming acoustically. But
Got
when we did the shows, everything was so natural.
cool.
It was so natural because we already knew,
Mm-hmm.
but without consciously rehearsing that.
Understand. Yeah,
So
the
what I got, it was like he was trying to recreate this energy and synergy from the early days of Deep Purple when they were playing live and they were jamming all over the songs.
yeah,
Which is
especially
great.
Machine Head Live. It's
Yeah.
like the song, like 2-3 minutes, and then like 15 minutes of
Yeah, exactly.
whatever you want. Yeah.
Exactly. So that was great. That was a very valuable lesson I learned playing with them, about to listen to each other when you're in a band. And for a singer, it's very important to listen, to be integrated in the rest of the instruments. And also you can apply that for the recordings, because when you go to a recording session and you need to sing vocal lines that you learned before to go to the studio, and you just sing over the vocal lines, but then you have the guitars, you have different elements with the drums, and if you listen to all of that, you can improve your vocal performance because you are playing together with the instruments and
Yeah.
not over the instruments, which is
Yes.
very important for a singer also. So yeah.
100% truth. Okay. Plans for the future, the near future.
Well, since we released my solo album in September, we did a tour in Europe, the first leg in January, which was great. And now we're gonna do in May. We're gonna do some shows in Switzerland and Norway, and then we're going for summer festivals with my solo band. We're gonna play a lot of festivals and shows in the summer. Um, I have some acoustic shows with my friend Gus G from Firewind and Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some shows together. It's just with the two guitars and playing some classics, and then probably after the summer, I need to start to write my new solo album while we're still touring with the band.
So cool, so productive. That's really
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I love to be occupied doing things.
that's great.
It's really hard for me to stay at home doing nothing. It's like it's in my nature. There's a lot of people when they say, "Oh, you are doing too many things, and you're singing in too many bands, and all this stuff." It's like, I love to sing. So what I can do?
Exactly. Yeah.
I
It's
will be
not an
singing
easy
all day,
job.
every day. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's what I love to do, and also I have the luck of to be working with a lot of different musicians, great musicians, doing different styles. Because when I do the Ferryman, is more power, melodic metal. Then I do Sandstorm, which is more AOR. Then I do my solo stuff, which is more close to the Dio solo era.
Heavy kind of, yeah.
Yeah, so I like it. For a singer, it's very important to keep busy in that way. It's the way you learn.
And it's not boring. It's
No,
kind of all rock metal, but it's
I
here, there,
love to go to the studio. When I go to one of the things which is very important also that I always tell to the guys is like, don't put home studio. Don't put a studio in your house, because your home is to take a rest and to be with the family. If you want to make a record, go to the studio.
Okay,
I
great tip.
always do that. I mean, I understand different situations. When you work with that, it's okay, But for me as a singer,
Mm-hmm.
many times my bandmates they were telling me, you need to buy like a audio card, and you connect to the laptop, and you can have a microphone, and you can record demos and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, my house is to stay with my wife, my dogs, and to have a rest and to do different things. This is my house.
Understand.
It's not my work here. So if you
Understand.
want me to record something, I go to the studio.
That's good. That's good. Tell me about your best warm-up routine. How you're warming up your voice first, before, when you are not performing, when you have long breaks, for example, to
Yeah.
stay in shape. How you're warming up your voice before studio recordings and before the shows. Those three
Well,
things.
yeah, for me, that's something very important. Is you need to be prepared on a daily basis. It's I don't understand singers that they start to get prepared only when they need to sing.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, oh, I need to go to the studio tomorrow, so I'm going to prepare myself today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For me, it's something more complex, because the voice is an organic instrument. You need to take care of every day from
Yeah.
a different base. For example, the first of all for me is what you eat. That's very important, because it depends what you eat and the diet you have. It can impact the way you're singing, and
Yeah. Acid reflux. That's the horrible.
yeah, the most of the people is saying, oh, the alcohol would be not only the alcohol, actually what you eat,
Yeah.
the hours you eat, how many hours before a show or after the show, or obviously there's a lot of things like the people when they say, oh, yeah, how much you sleep. That's very important also, of course. But it's all related of a healthy lifestyle. So it's
Mm-hmm.
more complex than only to get prepared when you have a tour, or when you have a show, when you have a studio session. So
Mm-hmm.
what I do normally is I do a lot of sport, because I can. Uh, I do a lot of sports. I eat very healthy with my wife. We don't eat sugar. We don't eat white flour, only whole grain flour.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is natural. We try to not to get like a delivery food the most of the times. We
Mm-hmm.
cook a lot. We have natural vegetables, not from the supermarket, but we have our own
Mm-hmm.
things, or from the village where we live. And then you start from there.
Cool.
If you have a healthy lifestyle, and you take care of your body, because at the end, your voice is here in your body,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
you need to take care of it. It's like a guitar player, when you put the guitar in a hard case, and you clean it, and you change the strings. You need to do the same.
But in our cases, we can't put our voice and go somewhere.
Exactly, exactly. So
Always
that's
with
why you
us.
need to take
Always.
care
It's
of the body.
crazy.
Yeah, you need to take care of the body, and then that's the only way. And obviously, if you have a healthy lifestyle, uh, you have less chances to get sick, for example, with a flu, for example.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell you, I have like a normally, like, one flu per year, and it,
Mm-hmm.
and it lasts like 2 days, and that's it. So yeah, I eat very healthy. I make sports, and then obviously mentally you need to be prepared for be a singer,
Mm-hmm.
because touring is very hard.
Yeah.
When you are out for, I mean, the longest one I did, it was probably, uh, I think it was 3 months in a row. Um, we were doing 6 shows in a row every week.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's
That's
crazy.
just crazy.
Yeah. So obviously you need to be mentally prepared for that also. Not only the body, but mentally you need to be prepared. You get tired. When you are on tour, you don't have access to the what you really want to eat every day, because the caterings are different.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
sometimes after the show, everything is closed, so there is no dinner, or you get late breakfast because you were sleeping, or sometimes you miss the breakfast because you were oversleeping, or whatever it is. And it's very hard. I don't get alcohol on working days.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't say I didn't drink any alcohol, because I like alcohol. I mean, I like red wine. I like a good beer.
Mm-hmm.
I can take a beer, 2 beers, no more than that. I can take a glass of wine. I can take, that kind
Mm-hmm.
of stuff. I like whiskey also. I can take a shot, but especially on the weekends, or when I know that I'm not singing, because everybody knows that
But
alcohol
but
irritates.
now not when you are singing or performing, right?
No, no, I try
That's
to
really
not to,
good.
because
Cool.
it's the opposite that the people think when they say, you need to take a shot of vodka so you get warm it up. It's like it's totally.
That's bullshit completely.
Exactly, it's
That's
totally
bullshit.
the
Yeah.
opposite. It's like you
Yeah.
get totally irritated. So,
Exactly.
yeah, I try to not to drink too much alcohol. I mean, regular things and that
But
stuff.
what about routine? How you are warming up the voice? You are doing
I
some
sing, I
day.
sing, I sing every day, all day. I'm singing. Obviously, you have those warming ups exercises when you are about like a 2-3 hours before the shows, for example, mostly before the shows, because in the studio is different. In the studio, you can start to sing the songs softer, and then
Yep.
you improve the performance after some takes. You need to try different things, but in the live side it's totally different. You need to warm up some hours before, especially 5 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours, 1 hour before the show.
Okay. What about like you have your sound check, for example, like
Mhm.
1 p.m. and you
Yeah.
have your set like 7 p.m. So you are waking up and what you are doing like before the sound check?
Normally I'm an early bird, so I wake up normally like 8 a.m. I'm totally awake.
Mm-hmm.
I eat something light. I go to the gym for an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I do some cardio normally, because it's very good for a singer to make cardio, to be.
Yeah, breathing thing. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I eat some very light lunch, like I'm not the kind of person that can eat something very grassy. And
Mm-hmm.
then I go to the sound check. I try to not to force myself when I'm obviously when I'm doing sound check. It's not that's the, it's not the moment when you need to prove your to everybody that you can sing. You know,
Exactly. That's why I'm
it's
asking.
like
You are
that's
more kind of marking here and
it's
there
mostly
rather
just
than.
to check monitoring and all this stuff and to sing a little bit. Then I go back to the hotel, sleep for a couple of hours.
Cool.
To sleep is very important.
Yeah. I think the like yeah, like food and without sleep, like no matter the
Yeah,
technique you have, you're
yeah,
done.
yeah. And then after after a couple of hours, I wake up. I get dinner ready, like probably 5 p.m. because you need to have at least 2 hours before the show,
Hmm.
the last food and the show, to not to get
Yes.
problems. Um, and then I start to warm up. You do the normal exercises like you do with the scales, the note
Hmm.
scales, la 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 la, all the stuff, the
Hmm.
typical stuff. You warm up the muscles. You need to get relaxed the muscles of the face, the tongue, to stretch a little bit. I would say not too much, anyways, because uh, I would say that I'm very lazy with that.
Uh-huh. Okay.
But
So it's
I
like
know the importance, but I'm
20
very lazy.
minutes or for how so long?
I, I would I I would do that for an hour, no more than that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Cool. And are you cooling down after the show?
Normally, yes, yes, it's
That's
very
important.
important. Yeah, it's very important also because it's like a shutdown for your system
Yep.
before to go to sleep and to take a rest,
True.
proper rest. You know.
Yeah, because that's one of the biggest problems when singers they have really good technique and they are like nailing the show. After the show, everything is okay, and they are waking up the next day, the voice is gone. Like,
It's gone. Yeah.
yeah, why? So
Yeah.
cooling down, yeah, that's
Yeah,
more.
it's like when you have a car, when you're driving on the highway 200 kilometers per hour, and then you get home, you don't let the car running, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You shut down
yeah.
the car. So it's the same thing. You need to cool down. It's the same with sports when you're doing running, for example. I do a lot of running. After you peak running, you need to cool down.
Yes.
Is the same thing because the thing that the people need to understand that is an organic instrument. Is the muscles involved, and not only the one muscle. There's a lot of muscles involved, even the muscles on the back for me in my case because the way I perform. So uh, obviously you need to cool it down. um, I don't like when the people is like as you say, they have a good show, they sing great, and then after the show you see them with the beer just talking,
That's the
especially with
yeah,
music like this it's
yeah,
called sound competence, like there is a music
yeah,
in the club, and you're screaming because it is very loud, the music, and you're screaming
exactly.
after the show. Yeah, the show was great. Yeah, it was great. And then the day after, oh, I cannot talk.
Yeah, because you're forcing exactly. You are trying to overcome all those things, not like amplified with the microphone.
For me, it's very important after the show, it must be a very quiet environment. That's something that I really ask for to every promoter. It must be after the show, I go to my dressing room, quietness. If somebody wants to come to take a picture or something, I can do it, no problem. Yes, I go out, take a picture,
But
then I
no
go back.
talking.
Yeah, not at all. No, that's very important. I mean, I learned that with from mistakes, because obviously I
Uh,
used to do that, and then suddenly it was like, I cannot talk today. I don't know why. Yeah, it was because last night after the show you were screaming over the music.
so it's more like a zigzagging, like okay, tin, 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 maybe because of forcing my voice
Yeah, yeah,
in the
yeah.
bar. Okay, no bar. Yeah,
But it's
sounds
interesting
great.
because sometimes the people they don't get it and they think you're an asshole. They think, oh, this guy doesn't want to be around partying. It's like
But
no.
you need to choose. In this case, you need to choose, or you are a party guy, or you are really good,
Yeah,
solid, and consistent.
and also because it's the way you show respect to the audience the day after.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
they deserve the same performance than the day before.
Yeah. Yeah. Bro, like, okay, three main advices to any kind of singer. Like, from your experience, we're not talking about technique,
Yeah.
just your experience, your long, really good career as a singer. So, three
Yeah.
advices.
Yeah, the first one I told you at the beginning is to find the music you actually feel comfortable singing, so you don't hurt yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That I mean, to have a um, not a wider range, but to have a smaller range doesn't make you a worse singer. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
just need to find the way you can tell a story and connect with the people. You don't need to sing like a high notes and low notes. And if you have something like you really can connect with people, that's enough. This is the main advice that I always tell to everybody when everybody comes, like, I want to sing like Dio, I want to sing like no, you don't need to do that. You need to sing like yourself. You need to find your voice and to sing over your voice the things that you can sing, and you can tell the story correctly. That's the only way to connect with people.
Mm-hmm.
The second advice: take care of your body. That's one of the most important things. Your voice is in your body, is an organic instrument, you know. So you need to take care of it, as I say before, as a daily basis, every day, not only when you need to sing. Every day you need to take care every day of it. That's the only way to be prepared when you need to sing, because you are already prepared for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the third one, I would say, follow your dreams. That's something that it may sound cheesy, but it helps me a lot. Um, there is a quote that it says, "Do what you love and love what you do."
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's the most important thing. To be a singer, especially a singer, not only a musician. To be a singer is all about emotions. You need to connect with people. You need to tell a story. You need to bring emotions with people. You need to be uh, aware that we have a very important role in the society, because music heal people,
Yeah.
helps people, helps. And if you think about, when you're listening to music, when you have problems, when you're sad, when you're happy, when you need to listen some a message that you need in that moment, when there's
Yeah.
in any situation the people is listening music, we are that. We need to bring that to the people, and the only way to be responsible with that is to be happy with what you are doing. If you're not happy with that, it doesn't matter. It's like do something else. So follow your dreams, do what you love what you do, and you're gonna find results. The chances are not meant to, go and you catch them. It's like you need to build it. You need to be prepared. When the people tell me all the time, like, you're lucky because Richie Blackmore calls you, and I would say, yeah, I was lucky, but also I was prepared, because when he found me, I was playing in a rainbow cover band.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
So
so
it's not like, yeah, it's not
when
like,
he calls me, I was prepared to sing the songs. What it would happen if he calls me and I don't know anything about rainbow?
yeah.
I wouldn't be prepared, and I would go there for an audition. And I remember, this is a true story. I went for this kind of audition with him, uh, and he started to play in the guitar. He started to play the Beatles, Queen. Um, he played some ABBA songs and different stuff.
Wow.
So yeah, you need to be prepared for that. So yeah, I
That
would say I
that's
would say I was lucky, but also I was prepared.
cool. Cool.
So
It's
that's very
kind of
important for a
the
musician.
same story with current Journey singer Arnold Pineda. He
Yeah,
was in
yeah,
the cover band of Journey. He's so similar to Steve Perry's sound, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Brother, just from you, couple of words to the Ukrainian audience
yeah,
who loves you. Hold on a second.
yeah.
Um, Hey, we are on the line with Ronnie Romero, and a couple of words from this amazing singer to the Ukrainian people.
Hello,
Say
everybody
something.
in the hello everybody in the Ukraine. Ronnie Romero here, just to wish you the best of all. Stay strong, be healthy, take care. Hope everybody's gonna be solved very soon. Listen to music.
Thanks, brother. Thanks a lot.
Yeah,
Man, what can I say? It was a pleasure. Thanks for your honesty, all of your advices and stories. It was really nice to meet you. And yeah, I will post this interview soon on my YouTube channel. I will send you the link.
super.
Yeah, it was nice to meet you, brother. Have a
Same.
really
Take
good
care, mate.
day. Bye. See you,
Keep in
brother.
touch. Bye bye.
Bye bye.